Hey everyone, this is my last video since we're on to lesson 14, our final week. I know you're going to be sad to stop watching these videos, but I hope that you'll notice that this week, with it being the last week, there are just things a little different. Make sure you're reading instructions carefully and due dates and sending me emails with any questions you have. Hopefully this video will clear up any questions you have. I just want to show you a breakdown of what's due when. So this Wednesday night, which is April 11th, by 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, here are the items you have due. You can also see this if you go to your content page and go to lesson 14. My computer has been really weird, so if it starts moving all over, sorry. Okay, you'll see here, I want you to be careful because I found that this chart, for the most part it's correct, but there are a few things that were a little different. So scroll down the page and look at the specific due date and time under each assignment. I break it down in my announcement note. These are the things due Wednesday night. Final course reflection. I'll go over this in more detail, but I like this one. I feel like it's more valuable than even the final exam because it gives you a chance to look at what you learned in every single lesson throughout the semester. So it's a good reflection and reminder. Personal revelation is an assignment that you'll have due Wednesday night. Final exam practice test. This practice test can be done up until Wednesday night at 11, but you'll want to probably make sure that you do it not up to the very end because that doesn't give you time to actually do the final exam. But it can be taken as many times as you like, so start today and take it a few times. You can use your notes in that. There's just an exit survey that's also due Wednesday night, a final vocabulary exam on the vocabulary. You are not allowed to use notes, course vocabulary charts, or dictionaries for that one. So it's on your honor, making sure that you follow those guidelines, not to use other resources. The final exam is also due Wednesday night, and the only study aid you can use is the notes that you have taken. I will explain that in the exam. And then you have a post-course survey. The one thing, and I believe with Thursday night, you need to attend your gathering, and here is the next thing I want to tell you. When you go to report your attendance, I have found two different places where it says, one says it's due Friday morning and one says it's due Friday night, your attendance report. So if I were you, I would make sure you have it done by 8 o'clock in the morning on April 13th. So that's Friday morning, you need to have it submitted. It's kind of odd because we've never had anything due in the morning before. So I have a recommendation here. I would recommend reporting your attendance as soon as you get home Thursday night from your gathering. Get home and report it because every semester I have students that email me saying, I didn't realize it was due at 8 in the morning. I thought it was due tonight. Can you reopen it? So when you get home Thursday night, report that you went. Okay, it's easier than worrying about Friday morning. And Wednesday night, like I say here, no later than Wednesday night should you return in anything that you are working on redoing. Because I need to get grades submitted. You won't be able to see them the minute I submit them. BYU Idaho has to do what they do before they're released to students, but I need to get them in. So in order for me to get them in on Friday, I need you to have everything in by Wednesday. It gives me time to grade everything. Some of you, I have put responses to your assignment saying, you gave me the wrong template. If that has happened, make sure you send that to me before Wednesday night. If I get anything after Wednesday night, I'm not going to be grading it. I need to have a deadline so that we can get everything in and graded. Also, I only accept things up to a week late, so I don't want to have you asking me to reopen assignments from lesson 2 or lesson 6. So because we have that deadline in place, it's preparing you for future college courses of having deadlines and getting things in. Make sure that anything you ask me to reopen is only from last week, so it can only be a week late. So anything from lesson 13. Okay, now I'm going to go over and explain the final course reflection and the personal revelation assignment. So here's our final course reflection. In here, you're going to download the template, and the template explains, see my computer's being weird, so I'm sorry, it just bumps me down. I wonder if if it moves me, I'll try something else. What you need to do is, let me just pull up the template. It's a little more easy to explain. Okay. You are going through every week's lessons and explaining what was the most important thing that you learned that you want to remember. And then why was that so important to you? So there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not looking for a specific thing, but it needs to be something you learned from that week's content. And there's no directions on how long it has to be, so just however long you need it to be to explain to me, what do you want to remember from that week, from lesson 2? It tells you the topic from lesson 3 on disciple leadership. What do you want to learn or remember? And then why was that so important? So make sure you include the why, the part B. Then we go into part 2. Here is where it does tell you it needs to be at least 3 sentences. Okay, so you see that right there? So I need to see 3 sentences for full points. So it wants you to look back and think about how your learning built upon each other. How did one lesson impact the next lesson and the other ones? Did you see a flow between those topics? And then also think about how your learning, how you improved and learned more because of other people. Excuse me. Then we have part 3. You also need to have at least 3 sentences right there. So I need 3 sentences or more. Answer each of these questions. How you're more self-reliant, how you've improved in your service, how your skills in English have improved. Then part 4, once again, you need to have at least 3 sentences for every answer. What concepts will you keep applying even now that the semester is over? What are you going to continue? So one concept you learned and you want to continue to do in your life. And how? So if it's, I'm going to continue building my food storage. Well, how? I'm going to each month buy another day of food for my food storage. Whatever it might be, tell us how. And once again, at least 3 sentences. My fingers in there. So that is, I love reading these, the final course reflections, to see what you learned, what you want to remember, and what impacted you the most. Let's see. Let me move my face for a minute so you can see the next part. The next one I want to go over is the personal revelation. If my screen will let me. 1 second. So the personal revelation assignment is a little tricky to find because in my view it explains it, but in your view all you'll see is it's inside the topic introduction. Okay, so click there if you're looking for that assignment. And here is where you'll study, you'll use the materials below. So you'll see here, you'll watch a Mormon message about Revelation. You'll read this quote, sorry my computer, and then you're going to choose a topic to study. Okay, and you'll reflect on your own revelation that you had this semester. And let me try to get the template before it pops down. It's not like in... Okay. This one, it's a very short template because, I'll put my face back up. It's a short template because most of the assignment is done just right there that you saw, but then it asks you to answer just 2 questions. How did this personal revelation impact you? Because you need to be thinking about personal revelation that you had this semester. And then how has your testimony been strengthened this semester? Maybe in a certain area of your testimony, maybe your testimony overall, of a certain concept, principle, whatever it may be, how was it strengthened? And once again, it doesn't give any directions on how long it needs to be, so however long you think you need to type to answer that question. So I look forward to seeing how Revelation has helped you this semester, and I don't have an English tip for this week. The only thing my recommendation, so listen up. Though you will not have those listening and speaking logs to submit anymore once this course is over, you'll miss those, I'm sure, and be sad. They are helpful, and I know that they will help you improve in your English. So you'll have access to this course, to your old courses, and you can go to that page. Just go to any lessons, listening, speaking log, directions, and I'll do it in lesson 2 since my screen doesn't want to scroll down. Go here, and what I would recommend, I'll actually get out of pre-gathering, is to pick something, do it once a day or 3 times a week. Have a goal to work on your English still, even though our class is done, and continue strengthening your listening and speaking skills. So it's not going to let me get down there. Let's see if it'll click on it. Come here and look at the explanation. Oh, it's not going to. Of each of those activities, and pick, like I said, 1 a day or 3 or 4 a week, and keep practicing. I'm so impressed with how much progress I've seen just in your writing. I don't get a chance to speak to you, but I know that the way that you write is a reflection of how your English is improving. And since this is our last video and last week together, it always makes me so sad. So I want you to reach out and email me. Even though I won't be your instructor anymore, you still have my email address, coltonal@byu.edu. Email me great good news or things that are going on in your life. Or just if things are hard, if you have a class that you're struggling with, just come to me. I want to hear and help. You all have different paths that you're going to take. Some want to go on after the Pathway program to further their education. Some just want to take the Pathway courses to improve their English. Whatever your goal is, may you be successful and move forward with faith and knowing that you have a Heavenly Father and a Savior that love you. And I am grateful for this semester with you and the light of Christ that I can see in all of you just through our interactions online. And I am grateful for you and everything that you have taught me, and know that you're loved. And I will say farewell, and this is my final video. Bye everyone, and good luck.